Hello everybody, it's Jen. I'm here with my first design team project for Not2Shabby shop using the Fawn Sweet Friends stamp set. I'm also going to bring in the Just For You stamp set by Fawn. I'm using the half of that sentiment, the For You, and then I'm using this donut pattern paper. This is from Doodlebug Cream and Sugar collection. So when I first saw this card, I had this idea of the donuts doing donuts. So I, of course, had the vision in my head, and I was going to try to see if I could recreate it. So I'm just creating some lines here, and I'm going to be using my Fawn Jet Black ink. So what I want to do is I want to have the donut standing at the beginning and standing at the end, and then doing donuts in the air. And so I'm just creating some lines here so I can try to get them on the same level. Now, if you were really particular, you could measure this out. This donut is a little bit too far to the right than I would have liked it, so the card leans a little to the right, but that's okay. I don't mind. So now I'm just going to put the arms and the legs on the little donuts, which are going to become some characters doing some flipping in the air. So I'm just going to have them kind of twirling around here, and I think it came out pretty cute. Now, these arms and legs are pretty easy to get stamped onto all of the images that come in the stamp set. And where I just missed a little, I'm just using my Memento black ink here. It is an alcohol safe marker, and it just helped fill in the lines to connect the legs where I might have missed just a little bit. So I'm just erasing up my pencil line marks, and now I'm going to color the donut. So I'm just going to show you coloring one because I colored them all the same. So the donut dough in the paper pad is a light brown color, so I'm using my GB9 and my GB8 Spectrum Noir markers here. And then I'm going to do the frosting in a pink, so I'm using R81 and R83, I believe. And you can see here I was doing it assembly line. Once I did the first one, I kind of forgot here on the frosting, so I'm just going to do all the frosting, and then I'm going to go back to the first one and fill that in, and then move on to the rest of the card. Really simple coloring. These are tiny images, so I'm doing mostly two color blending, and it just gives it enough shading that you don't really need any more than the two colors. So moving on, I'm going to mask the donuts now. I'm going to do a Distress Oxide background. So I just stamped this out on some Post-it paper. I'm using broken china just to give the back of the cardstock a little bit of color. This is Spectrum Noir premium paper. It is my paper of choice for alcohol markers. So I'm just using a really light hand to just add some blue from the paper into the scene. And I do bring in my Distress water bottle here. I am going to spray it. But this paper in particular doesn't really take water well, so I kind of held my breath, and you can see the paper warps up a bit, so I moved really quickly to get that water off. In the end, it's absolutely fine. Would I do it again? Probably not. So I would rather do that with watercolor paper. So I'm just going to peel up the masks now, and I'm going to put the cute little face that comes in the stamp set on all my donuts. These are really easy to put in place, and you just need to use a light touch to make sure that they don't smudge. So now I'm going to use the Distress Oxide and Worn lipstick to add some of the sprinkles onto my little donut characters. And the Distress Oxides are great for stamping detailed images and sentiments. I love these inks. I can't say enough about them. So once I get those finished up, I'm going to move on to just doing some rosy cheeks here using R20 and Copic marker. just to give them a little bit more character. And then I'm going to start with the sentiment. In the stamp set, there is a stamp that says donut, and then I used an S from the sprinkles sentiment that is in the stamp set, and then the For You is from the Just For You stamp set that I showed at the beginning of the video. So of course I did not stamp the donut well, and I didn't want to start over, so I just used my Memento black marker here, and I'm going over the word donuts and then the F in the For, and you would never know that I made a huge mistake and almost wrecked the card. So now I'm just trimming down the panel here for the front of my card, and of course I got black ink on there, so I'm using my Tombow Mono sand eraser to get that off. And now I'm just going to cut down the pattern paper. I only want edges of it showing, so I cut it down to 3 inches and then cut 2 1.5-inch strips, just so I could save some of that paper for another card. I'm just going to adhere that to the top and bottom of the card base using my ATG adhesive, and then I will put the panel on the front of the card. So let me know what you think. Does it look like the card? Not the card. Does it look like the donuts are doing little donuts in the air? I think it turned out pretty cute. I wish the top left-hand donut was a little bit more to the left, but you know, you have to let some things go. So once I get the card panel onto the card base, I'm going to do some finishing touches. I am going to bring in my C1 marker just to ground the 2 donuts that are supposed to be standing on the ground, and I'm going to blend that out with the blender pen. Now technically there would be shadows underneath the flying donuts, but I didn't want to risk wrecking the card, so I just left them without a shadow. I'm bringing in my Spectrum Noir Sparkle pen here, and I'm using a very light hand because the Distress Oxide ink is reactive to water or liquid, so you just want to make sure you're not going to move those sprinkles around. Then I'm using my black glaze pen to detail the eyes, and I'm bringing in these heart stickers. I can't remember where I got them. They might be Recollections, but I'm trying to balance out that left-hand side of the card, so I wanted to put some heart stickers there. And then I needed to cover up where I had a little bit of that black ink left, so I'm using the white heart so it's not so noticeable. And then I was trying to place this one, and then I realized that I already had an odd number of hearts on the card, so I didn't want to put any more on to make it even. So I think that kind of balanced it out. I was trying to see if I could get it to balance out a little bit more, and I think I finally got them in place, and I think it works. So I hope you enjoyed this card. Don't forget to use my coupon code Jen10, and that's Jen with 2 N's, to save 10% off your total purchase at Not2Shabby shop. And don't forget to set an account because you will earn free rewards. Thanks everybody for watching. Have a great day. I will see you soon. Take care. Bye.